guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here with a little bit of a pack with me. These are orders that came in from Saturday afternoon through this morning. This is Monday morning. So I think I've got 10, 11, 12 pieces. But some really cool things that sold, and I cannot wait to share them with you. Just some of like the really unique and interesting pieces I found over the past couple of weeks. But first and foremost, if you are new here, welcome aboard. I'm Julia. We talk thrifting and vintage and reselling on the internet. If that is something you are into, be sure to hit subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. We're building this incredible community. But without further ado, let's get into the packing. I'm running, as always, low on time. I need to get these packed and get them over to the post office. So first up, we have a couple, this is so interesting. I had a couple like true summer sales over the last couple days, and considering the fact that it's early January, that's kind of alarming. First up is this cute little pair of white cotton eyelet shorts from Vineyard Vines. This is such a great little pair of shorts. They have like a little kind of jogger curve to the bottom of them, which I love. Pull-on styling, a good 3-inch inseam. Vineyard Vines is one of those, they're just always expensive. They always sell. They're always classic. They're always in style. It's, like these could easily be a 20-year-old pair of shorts, and I would be none the wiser. But they're in fantastic condition. So I had these for about 2 or 3 months. I think I found them at the end of summer, which, makes sense. I would grab it anyway. Vineyard Vines will just always sell. They're not big, so I didn't really care if I had to store them over the winter. But I had them listed for $26 and got an offer for $19 on them. And again, in January, a pair of shorts. I'm gonna take that. The $1 cost from the bins, this brought my profit to $13.24, which is great. Hopefully this is going to somebody who is about to go on a nice vacation. They'll look nice and crisp and preppy, and they'll never be out of style. Next up here, another true summer sale. This is a swimsuit bottom. I actually found 2 of these, and I grabbed them thinking that it was a bathing suit, like top and bottom. Alas, it is not. The brand is Malai, M-A-L-A-I. I had never heard of it, but the quality felt really nice. So I grabbed it. They still have like the hygienic liners and everything. These are obviously brand new with tags. So I grabbed them both. Typically, like, I wouldn't do this on like a pair, like a swim bottom from Target or anything like this. But if you find something in like a higher end of Frankie's bikinis, something to that sense, and the price is right, get it, because people will still buy it. I paid $1 for each of these, and I had this listed for $20, just, see if it sells. Again, I found it end of summer on a random day there were so many swimsuits in the bins this one day. And I'm like, oh, this is just everybody clearing out their summer drawers. But I had them listed for $20, and listen, turning $2 into $40 if I get 20 on both of them, that's pretty impressive. Considering these are teeny tiny, take up almost no space. I had these listed at $20, got an offer for $18, which I gladly accepted. Once again, I'm selling a cute little pair of swim bottoms. They are a little cheetah print, which I love in the dead of winter. I had them about 2 months, and with $1 cost, my profit on these ended up being $11.38. Again, super cute, super happy to find a new home for those. I hate seeing stuff like that that's, in the bins, because a lot of people won't grab it, and, it might go to the incinerator, it might go overseas, whatever, it might go into the landfill. I love being able to kind of snap those kind of things out of the jaws of death and get them into new hands. Oh my God, this one. This is one of my favorite pieces I have ever found in my life. This is the most gorgeous granny sweater dream confection I have ever found in my life. I will link the haul where I found this down below so you can get a good look at the beading on this. This is the most beautifully beaded. And I mean, when I say so it's wool on the outside, it's lined on the inside, so the wool doesn't touch your torso, which as a highly sensitive skinned gal, that is something so appreciated. This is probably vintage from the 50s. It's got beading all across the front. I don't know how much that's showing up in the camera, but beading across the back. And it is in fantastic vintage condition. It's teeny tiny. I think it's a size small. But I grabbed it and I just, like when I was in the bins, I couldn't stop staring at it because this beading is so gorgeous. Seriously, go and watch that haul if you have not seen it. It's worth it just to see this beading up close. Yes, I'm nerding out. Yes, deal with me. So anyway, I had this listed for $55 and I had it for about a month and a half. And I knew that this was gonna go. This had so much interest in it. And that's kind of how it goes with me for vintage. You know, vintage is such an interesting beast when you're in the resale world. And obviously vintage is where I got my start. Not necessarily vintage clothing, but vintage period is where I got my start in reselling. You know, and it's the kind of thing that they will always take a little bit longer to sell just because sizing's a little wonky. Some people are nervous about ordering vintage pieces online, you know, which I get it, you know, completely understandable. I always try to put measurements when it's something like this. But it will go and it will sell in general for a higher price than like an equivalent newly made garment would go for. Because it's one of a kind, because it's vintage, because you know, you're never gonna find it again, because there's not gonna be another person wearing this sweater wherever you go. Oh, this is just such a little delight. This is party mail. So I had this listed for $55. Again, I had it for about a month and a half, and I got an offer for $40, which I took. I'm just like so excited. Anything like this, just so excited to get it some love and get it somewhere because it deserves it. I got this for $1 at the bins, and my profit on this ended up being $28.96. And whoever bought it, if you're watching, can you just like take pictures like when you wear it out and send it to me? Because I love it so much. Next up, this is one that I've had for a while. This is this like beautiful boho maxi dress that I found. It's by a brand called Karma Highway, which I believe is like a, I think it's like a high-end boutique brand. I wasn't able to find too much else on it, but the colors and the print on it are just gorgeous. Like when I found this, and I got this at, I think I got this at a Salvation Army. When I initially found this, I thought it was silk. Like that's how nice this fabric feels. It isn't silk, but it felt like silk. And it's just so beautiful and breezy, and the colors, like again, you know, give me a blue and green anything, any day. They're my favorite colors next to each other. I just love them. So I've had this for a while. I've had this for about 5 months, and my cost on it was I think $5.99. So I have it listed here as $5, but I'm pretty sure around here our Salvation Armies have these at $5.99. Anyway, so I had this listed for $35. I've had a lot of likes on it. I've had a lot of views on it, but no real nibbles, no real offers. And this just popped through as a full price offer. And you know, it just goes to show everything will sell eventually. You know, like no matter what you get, everything will sell eventually. There's a buyer for everything. My mom and I have this one story of this god-awful cake stand that we bought years ago. I mean, it was 80s. It was like 80s before the 80s were cool again. And it's kind of our thing that we always say. She's like, but you know, will somebody buy it? I'm like, somebody bought that cake stand. And I mean, I think we sold that 10 years ago and we still talk about it. There's a buyer for everything, you know? Everybody's got different tastes. But anyway, this I just thought was so beautiful. Had it for $35, popped through at full price. Excuse me, it was a $5 cost to me, and that brought my profit to $23.93. I'm really stoked to be getting this on its way, because I really do think that is such a beautiful little dress. Next up, oh my God, this one. Now this one flew out of my closet. This is the most beautiful like breezy. It's lightweight cotton. Oh, I just air dried this, so it smells. You know that smell of like line dried sheets. I just air dried this in my backyard. I just think this is so beautiful. It's this ultra lightweight cotton. This is from Zara. I love finding pieces like this from Zara because they do move. Really, pieces like this period move. I've had pieces from Billabong that have flown just as quickly. You know, either way, I just like, if you see something like this and it's in good shape, and I do urge you, because of the busyness of the pattern, it is easy to miss stains. So, you know, give it a good check over. But if you see something like this, like, grab it. It will go. And it'll go probably for more than you expect it to. You know what? I'm not even gonna smush this. So I bought this and listed it for $45. And the same day I listed it, somebody liked it, and my sidekick, I use Posh Sidekick. I know a lot of you have asked about that. I can put a link down, or I think I have a referral code down below. If that's something you're interested in, you can use my code, and I think you get a little bit off your first month or something. I really love it. It works for me. It's not for everybody, but I work at high volume, and it saves me a ton of time. And the owners are fantastic. Anyway, so I had this listed for $45. My sidekick made an offer for $40, and it was accepted. And literally within hours of me listing it, I just love this dress, and I am so excited for this to get some more use. It's an extra small, so it's a very generous fit, and it's just leaving me wanting to find one in my size. I just, you know, in my mind, that dress is made to be worn while strolling through, you know, Capri or Greece, or, you know, one of those beautiful places by the sea. Oh, just gorgeous. So again, this was a same day sale, $40. That brought my profit on this to $28.98. So again, I love a same day sale. They don't happen all the time. They don't happen frequently, but I do love them when they happen. And something like this, you can bet, even if it's not a same day sale, it'll be within a few days. Next up, oh, this was such a cool find. So this, and like, I just wish you could feel this. This is burnout silk velvet. I felt this and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd for the textiles. So I grabbed it and I threw it in my cart just because I knew that the fabric was something. And when I got it back and I was like looking it over, it was by this brand Jonquil, and it's new with tags. But I think that this is dead stock. I'm almost positive that this is from like the early 2000s or the late 90s. Like I feel like I can see Jennifer Garner wearing this in 16 or whatever it is, 13 going on 30. This feels very of that era. Anyway, so Jonquil is an incredibly high-end, you know what, I'm gonna give her a little tissue paper. Something this delicate. Sometimes when I wrap really like lightweight, delicate things, I like to give it just an extra little layer of, I don't want to call it, like this is a little bit presentation, but it's also just like a little bit of padding and a little bit of extra insulation from the elements. But Jonquil is sold at Neiman Marcus. I don't know if I think the main line is maybe only sold at Neiman Marcus. You can find In Bloom by Jonquil in some places, but I haven't been able to find any like new line Jonquil stuff. But it's super, super, super high end. Like the price tag on this for that little tiny tee or that little tiny shirt is $204. So definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. I have sold a couple pieces of Jonquil and for really great prices every time. I don't know if they have a following or if it's just the design, if it's just, you know, the fact that this is a beautifully, you know, Y2K looking shirt, but either way, definitely be on the lookout for it. I always look at like bridal robes and stuff like that for this brand in particular. There are some other brands that I look for, but Jonquil is always like a real treat to find. So my price I had on this was $55. And I had it, I think about a week. I had it listed for about a week and got an offer for $49, which I gladly accepted. That brought my profit on this to $36.18. Such a great find and such a gorgeous shirt. Cannot wait to get that back out into the world. Next up here, this is a shirt that I grabbed at one of the other bins locations. This is from a designer called Moshi. And I grabbed it because the t-shirt felt really nice. The label looked really nice. I wasn't familiar with this, but the label said Moshi Beverly Hills. So I grabbed it. You know, again, it was a bins find. I think I paid $2 for it all in. And when I got it home, you know, it had kind of a distinctly, you know, early 2000s look to it, early to like mid 2000s look to it. It was kind of domain sleeves, but you know, people still really like that, especially this kind of like dark black and white, almost like emo aesthetic. So I grabbed it, and sure enough, Moshi is a very expensive designer. I don't know if she's still in business, but I know that this shirt probably sold for about $200 when it was new. So it was a great find. I know there's some other resellers that I follow that have said that it used to be a really good brand to find. It doesn't move quite as fast. And you know, what I found is, you know, that it did sell well, but it did take about 4 months to move. So it, you know, I had it for 4 months. I paid $2 for it at one of our bins locations. And I had it listed for $39, and it was really close to coming up on my like review, where I look at prices, make sure I'm not a little too high, you know, whatever it is, and get everything relisted. So it was really close to there. And it popped through as a full price sale. So there you go. I feel like that happens a lot. You know, things that are about to get reviewed in my closet, all of a sudden, bam, they get snapped up. So $39 full price sale, that brought my profit to $27.14. Super happy about that. Super happy to get this moving again. And happy to get somebody a great, adorable shirt. Me included, that, you know, you never know. Like, you might not be excited to sell this, to list this, but somebody else might be really excited to find it, you know? Like, I can't tell you how many times I myself have gone looking for very specific things on the secondhand market because I saw it on somebody 4 years ago and maybe I can find it, you know, and probably stuff that like nobody else would buy. So there's our lesson for all of us. Get through your death piles because they will sell. Next up, this is one that I've had. This is from my own closet. This is just a cute little Gap Fit t-shirt. Super simple. It's that like kind of Gap Fit, I think it's the Breathe fabric. Just a little gray long sleeve workout top. It's got these cute like dart seams in the back that kind of shape you. So I had this in a couple different colors. I had this in black, I had this in a darker gray, and then I had this one. And I just always reached for the black one or the darker gray one. So, you know, I still wear them actually quite frequently, you know, when I go on hikes or whatever. So, you know, it's stuff like that. I am somebody who, if I love something, I will buy it in multiple colors. And the thing that I find when I do that is that I will always have preference on one color over another. Every time, without fail. I need to stop doing it, but here I am. I literally have 5 of this shirt. 5 different colors. And I reach for this one like twice a week. I love it so much. But yeah, so this is a perfect example of something that I would let, you know, that I'm happy to move out of my closet. I think I've had this listed for about a year, and I had it listed, I think, for $15. You know, and it just like, I never got any likes on it. It was one of the ones that, you know, probably in the next couple months would come up to like maybe go to the donation pile, you know, for my own closet. And I had it listed for $15. I had it for a year, and it sold as a full price sale. I'll take it. I'll take it every time. So, you know, assuming anytime I sell something that's my own, especially something like this that I've had for a couple of years, I generally just set my cost to 0 in my spreadsheet. But yeah, this brought my profit to $13.40. super happy to get that on the move and get it a little wear. Next up, we're getting there, guys. Oh, this was such a cool find. This is another piece from Cut Loose, and I've had a couple pieces come through here since I've started filming. These always sell pretty quick. They never sell lightning quick, but they sell pretty quick. And for a decent price. They're linen, they're all hand dyed. This is a California company. I think they're up in San Francisco. They cut, sew, and dye the fabrics there, which is really interesting. This has this pretty like organic kind of polka dotty type pattern to it, and it's a button front, so it's a cardigan and with a trapeze shape, and it's an extra large. This had kind of everything going for it that I knew would work for the people that like Cut Loose and this kind of clothing. So I had this for about a week, and I had it listed for $34, which, you know, might have been a little bit high. Had it for a week, and I got an offer for $24, which, you know, happy to take it. It's a little bit more than I anticipated getting, so I'm happy with it. My cost on this was $1 from the bins, gotta love it. And it brought my profit on here to $18.20. Oop, not without the sticker. Definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. You know, I think one of you had mentioned that you see this brand kind of frequently in Denver. That makes sense. It kind of goes with the area, but yeah, if you are thrifting and you see this brand and the price is right, pick it up. Would I pay $10 for it? No. If I'm getting it for $1 or $2 all day long, I'll do it. It's a reliable seller. The label would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, definitely a reliable seller. And finally, this was such a cool one as well. This, and I cannot tell you how many times I considered just keeping this for myself. This is this amazing vintage roll neck sweater from Structure. This is just like, what did all the cute boys wear in high school? This sweater, I can almost smell like the Cool Water cologne. Do you remember Cool Water cologne? Do you remember the chokehold that had on the men of our generation? It was Cool Water, Curve. I think my brother wore Curve, and like Nautica. I still like the smell of Nautica cologne. I do, it still smells so good. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. I appreciate you all so much. It is so amazing to me that there are people out there that care about the same weird stuff that I do. I will link the haul for that amazing granny sweater downstairs. I'm telling you, if you have not seen it yet, go watch it. It is, if you care about vintage things, go check it out. It's so gorgeous. But if you had fun, don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below. It really helps me out. But guys, without further ado, I gotta get these over to the post office. Have a fabulous weekend. Happy hunting, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.